RPG A Day is all about sharing what you love about role playing games and why. Join in.
Today is day 6 of RPG A Day, August 6th, 2017, our fourth adventure in daily posting about everything we love about role playing games. An idea put out there for us by Autocratic. Check out his blog, David Chapman, and given life by all of you, all of us. So today's topic is, it's not exactly a question, it's more of a prompt. It's telling us to describe what we would do if we had a full week available to us to use just for gaming, this is a situation I would love to have. No responsibilities other than just playing role-playing games with your friends. That'd be great. It sounds like a real vacation. Well, if I had this situation, there are a lot of thoughts that go through my mind about how I would fill this, and I've put them into the written blog. This video is actually going to be short, and regular viewers, don't laugh too loudly, you'll miss the rest of the video. What would I do? Well, it turns out that after long thought described in the blog post, that what I would do is run a generation game that lasted a week and traveled through many different eras of superheroes gaming. But what would make this a little unusual for me in terms of being a generation game is that not only would the characters be changing as we move back and forth or through a timeline, but the game systems would as well. So we would play a couple of sessions to introduce superheroes, then play them as established superheroes, then play them in their twilight years and passing the torch onto a new generation of heroes, but at that point change to a different game. And as we go through the full 7 days of all-day gaming, we would fortify ourselves with suitably heroic food, and maybe we would shift back and forth between the timelines. Maybe we would connect a villain from the first game somewhere in the middle or toward the end and gain clues and insights, and we would weave all these different games together. It would be a week celebrating things like system exploration and system mastery, of feeling how the system matters. And the t-shirt that I'm wearing right now kind of expresses this, the feeling that I'm going for, in that it brings together two generations of the same name of hero. We've got the Sandman, and then we have the Sandman, and we have different ideas about how these two came together as a concept, as heroes. And it'd be that kind of idea that I'd like to get at. How does it feel to play champions from the dawn of gaming, villains and vigilantes, versus living legends, versus the new version of villains and vigilantes, versus Superworld, versus Aberrant, versus Heroes Unlimited, versus the TSR Marvel superheroes, and on, jumping back and forth. Godlike. Every single Supers game that we could get our hands on, seeing if we can move through them, create compelling heroes, walk them through different phases of their careers, and pass the torch on to a new generation of heroes who look on the world in a different way and believe that it really is different, that the problems are different, even though we remain the same. I think there's something to that. And of course, this idea can't really be just mine. I think it's also sparked deep down by having been reading the Comics Madness blog, which is written by Ron Edwards on a variety of different topics, not just superheroes gaming. And, the collision of this question, reorganizing my shelves a bit, and reading that blog has produced this idea. So, at least for this year, my answer would be, if I had access to a full week to do nothing but game, I would use that week to explore every single Supers game I could get my hands on, and just enjoy the rise and maybe sometimes the fall of heroes in an ever more confusing world where sometimes simple answers remain true. Tomorrow, question 7 asks us to relate our most impactful game session. That may be hard for some people to answer. Maybe the type of gaming that you do, you're not really sure what would be meant by impactful. Maybe you don't game very much. Maybe you've just started. Maybe you've got so many different answers to choose from that the word best confounds you, or the word most confounds you. Well, go with your gut. Remember, this is all about sharing positively. What game session do you want to share with us that had a strong positive effect? We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Will Brooks created this infographic to be shared. So if you're participating in RPG a Day, share it far and wide. Help spread the conversation about everything we love about role-playing games.